everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Rich Estrella here, along with Dan DeForest and Bob Gibson standing by, and we have our guests tonight. We're going to have Dan Davidson from Western High School. They just concluded their season. It's over. But Coach Jason Camino Real, Coach has still got 2 games left, so they're going to join us shortly. Right now, I'd like to welcome Dan DeForest and Bobby Gibson. What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
I think I'm all right. So Randy has the night off, Randy always has a night off, but he has another night off tonight. But hey, he's doing he's calling the Corona Centennial Santiago game. That's a crosstown rival in the Inland Empire. Corona Centennial, a national power, always in the top 20, usually in the top 10, except I don't think it's going to happen this year, but you never know what'll happen. You know, it's COVID season. However, good game tonight for Randy to be calling, and we'll probably get some insight into that maybe later in the show. What time is it, Dan? 7 o'clock? And we just got underway?
7.
Well, I doubt we'll hear from Randy tonight. So
good.
we'll have to wait till next week to see what they have over there at Corona Centennial. But hey, let's bring on Davidson now. Coach Jason from El Camino Real. Let's get everybody in here.
Throw him in.
Throw them in. Come on. Push those buttons, Larry. There you go. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Great, Rich. Great to see you.
Coach Sabolic from the city section, El Camino Real. And, of course, there's Dan Davidson, frozen in time. Now, that's what Davidson looked like when he was younger, about 5 minutes ago. I don't know what he looks like now. He's frozen out at this moment. But Dan Davidson from Western will be joining us shortly. Fellas, let's just get into it now. Let's just get into it, not even play. You saw the Bosco Mater Dei game. That's usually the national champion. Comes out of that league. Man, I'm more convinced this year than ever. Wasn't Rich Estrella the one that told you guys, watch out, Mater Dei is going to be Mater Dei, like always. You know, Rawlinson lost the championship. What was it, last year to Bosco? You think he was going to sit down and let Negro get another one on him? Are you kidding me? Hey, look it. The game was interesting. It ebbed and flowed real well, but once Mater Dei got that lead, it was over, fellas. And that defense is stellar.
Yeah, no, we talked about it, and I happened to pick Mater Dei last week, but I didn't think they'd handle Bosco as well as they did in the second half.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's Bosco Mater Dei, right? Back and forth, back and forth. You got 2 heavyweights swinging on one another. I just thought Bosco would be more in the game in that second half, but Mater Dei, once they took over, man, it was over. I mean, pretty much, Bosco looked like they were going in, and then the Mater Dei defense came with another big play, another strip, and a fumble, and they recovered it, and that was pretty much it. That was the last chance I think Bosco had to get back in the football game.
That was definitely a game changer right there.
Hey, Bob, I'm gonna give you a pat.
It's crazy how good this program is year after year after year.
Bob, I got to give you a pass. I got to give Dan a pass. I got to give Conti a pass. All you guys thought Servite was going to whip everybody this year. Everybody. You guys were drinking the Kool-Aid, reading everything you could read. You got a steady diet of that crap. How's it feel?
Well, I'd have to say their offense played well. It's just they're not big enough up front right now, so I think they have to really work on coaching some of those guys up, getting a bigger front line, be competitive.
All right, Coach. Coach Jason Sabolic over there, El Camino Real. Now, we don't expect you to be as up front as we are here, but Coach, did you get a chance to see the game? Because that's the game of the year every year.
You know,
in the nation.
I did, Rich, and I'll tell you what. Like I was telling you before, I think that this Mater Dei team throws back to the Matt Leinart, Matt Gruda good days. I saw safeties coming downhill and just so much talent on both sides of the ball. It was impressive to watch, but I think this is a Mater Dei team that can reckon with old school Mater Dei football, you know, and be ranking as one of the best teams in that school's, prideful past.
But what about having a true freshman quarterback? That dude does not look like a true freshman.
There's a couple of schools that there's kids that look like they are grown men. So,
absolutely, yeah.
It's a long line.
And then Bosco's got Clarkson, whose dad is the guru. So they're pulling these guys out of all over.
You're Ugalele. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hey, that was good. One of the few. Wait, watch Dan. Dan, say it.
Ugaleo.
He pulled a muscle in his tongue right now. He's going to be on the DL after the show today.
That's not very easy to say.
All right, go ahead. By the way, that's Randy's favorite name to say of all time. He loves being able to say that properly, and none of us can. Just Randy. But anyway, Coach, it was still a pretty competitive. It was everything I thought it more than likely would be. Nobody ran away. And, Mater Dei did dominate the second half. Matter of fact, probably from the second quarter on. But, it wasn't a blowout. And, of course, with Mater Dei and Bosco, you're never going to get that. You're not going to get that anymore. That's done. That's over with. But the future looks – go ahead, Coach. Who's talking?
No, I was going to jump in real quick and say what it does is it sets up Mater Dei in the fall, right, which is just around the corner now. Everybody's wrapping up their football season. But, look, you can roll this over into the fall, and you can see how good Mater Dei and how much better they're going to be. I mean, that's a clear-cut number one team probably in the nation as we get into fall football here in just a couple of short months. So, I mean, you got a sneak peek of how good this Mater Dei team is going to be. And then if there's any free agents floating around, as we know happens from time to time, those guys are going to start looking at Mater Dei as a landing spot as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The sad thing is, Mater Dei comes in with a true freshman, but their defense is so good. Up front, they're so big and strong. Nobody can penetrate. So I could get in there and throw for 3,000 yards in a season pretty easy. You just pick and choose your spot. But that's where Mater Dei dominates everybody's front line. But what would really been good this year if IMG Academy and Mater Dei would have played. They play every year. They started playing, and then COVID hit, so everybody was running around for games. IMG still ended with 8 games on their season. That's probably what they get because they are not a traditional high school. They are a hybrid of Mater Dei Bosco where they recruit the best players in the nation to come to their school and play, and everybody else be damned. But they didn't get to play this year, and it would have been a good game. It would have because it would have been early on, and I don't know who would have won that game. It would have been good to see. But unfortunately, we didn't get it.
Don't forget that new rule now where those kind of schools can't come play the Southern Section anymore, right? They passed that rule that says you can't play the IMGs and the Oak Hill Academies and basketball, all those kind of schools that they're not really traditional, schools. They're just sort of academies, quote unquote, football factories or basketball factories. Can't have those games anymore, apparently.
I think the rule is they cannot come to California and play in the state of California. But if Mater Dei or Bosco or Sisters of the South or even Camino Real wants to go all the way to Florida and play them, they can do it.
Problem there, okay.
And I think Coach Sabolic is going to do that. He's going to play them next year, right, Coach?
Yeah, I wish. We had initially Mission Viejo on the schedule. I think they called the wrong El Camino. I think they were looking for El Camino Oceanside, and they ended up calling us somehow, some way. But talking about Mission Viejo, you really start to see now the delineation as Mission Viejo dropped a close one to San Clemente. You think about that, and where does Servite fit in? I mean, do you just call it Mater Dei, St. John Bosco, Servite, 1, 2, 3?
Well, This year it was 1, 2, 3. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. I still don't think the traditional powers that be in the Trinity League are going to give up their stranglehold on it. I still think Servite's a few years away from being able to actually be the big power they were, say, 10, 12 years ago.
I call it the Alabama-Clemson conundrum.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. That's a good way to put it. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what... Go ahead.
It's hard for any public school to compete with the private schools like that in Southern California. It just is.
Hey, Dan, welcome back. We've been talking, of course, we've been talking about the big game of the year, the national championship game every year. This year, there was no real national champion because the California teams didn't play till late in the year, but everybody else did. Go figure. But what was your impression of that game, Coach?
Thought it was a great job. I agree with you. Mater Dei up front on both sides of the ball is just a little bit different. And if you want to take a step back from there, I heard you guys really talk a lot about Mater Dei Bosco and even mention Servite. Think about Los Alamitos and the amazing year they had. They go in the open division and they have a great team. They could literally come in as like the 6th seed, have to play Servite. If they beat them, they play Bosco. And if they beat them, they play Mater Dei just to win a CIF championship. That you talk about a gauntlet, and something needs to be done about the CIF and allowing these teams, like you said, IMG. Some of these teams are just a little bit different and built different, don't have the same type of, ways of going about playing as we do.
No neighborhood boundaries. You know what their neighborhood boundary is? From Hawaii to China, because they can send anybody in. Remember that Wayne Marino guy at Artesia? I mean, this guy gets on the club circuit. He goes and takes a team internationally. The following year, he's got 3 guys from 3 different countries who are the best players in their high school coming and played for his team in Artesia. That's when he had those powerhouses, and then he got caught because one of the kids was actually 23 years old, trying to pass him up as a junior. I'm not kidding. Aubrey Fernandez, look it up, man. It's a public record, man. It was the greatest scam ever. Greatest scam ever.
Yeah, it's a great game, and it's cool to be a part of it and see it in Southern California and all that. But I just think there's obviously a place for it. But as you start looking at some of the amazing accomplishments this year, and then you go and watch those guys, it didn't look like they had any setbacks at all for COVID. I'm sure Coach can talk about some of the things we had to do trying to install offenses and get our defense up to par, the things that we have to do. Man, it looked like the day was just going, and I think the game would have been even a lot better had Bosco not turned the ball over a few times, especially, right about going in for a score.
You mean Bosco turned the ball over, or Modern Day forced the turnovers?
Yeah.
They were so aggressive, man. They were so good in this ball game because remember, they weren't just playing an also-ran in the southern section. They were playing a pretty good team. Former national champ. The reigning national champ at the time.
Reigning national champ.
Yeah, the reigning national champion. They made him look very pedestrian in that game. So if I'm the Trinity League, I'm scared about next year. And Bruce probably has 5 new linemen coming in next year, all All-Americans. Dan DeForest still has eligibility. He's thinking about going over there.
No way, but hey, I do.
He wants that ring, baby. He's paying the Duncan here.
I do like you brought up the Griffins. Los Alamitos Griffins had a great season, undefeated. And they were beating people pretty good. That offense is going to be high powered. They have that sophomore quarterback and really have a young team. I think they're going to be someone to be reckoned with next year.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think they're building.
Yeah.
Griffin football's back. Griffin football's back. Los Al.
Yeah, they got a great sophomore wide receiver in DB. Already been offered by, has already taken trips to Clemson and Oklahoma, and obviously Malachi Nelson speaks for itself and what he's doing at quarterback. They may end up one of the 2 top sophomores in the nation when it's all said and done. And then you put Coach Fenton coaching those guys and the way they believe in each other. They also have a very good running back, a couple of good defensive linemen, and like you said, they're very young, but they better hope that they come in 9th so they don't go in that top 8 open division.
You better hope they get this tonight. Yeah, that's a good observation, Coach. You're always thinking ahead, brother. Hey, Dan, let me impose on you if I will, and if I'm crossing the line here, that's cool. But what did you tell your team at the end of the game? I know those things are private in the locker room, but what was going on? Because this was not a normal season. Your team goes undefeated. There's no playoff. It sucks in a way, but they did get to play, and that's what it's all about.
It's the first time in several years for us that we went into the game knowing it's our last game and knowing that was going to be it. And so basically what I told them is enjoy the journey and take it in. And everything that you went through, we never stopped for 13 months. We continued sending out workouts and doing meetings. I told them to enjoy every single moment of it. And for most players, everyone knows that it's over for them. There's no pickup football games.
Nope.
Baskets or playing a baseball, softball league. In football, it's over. So I really emphasized enjoy the journey, take everything in, and these guys and the love that we have as a family, cherish that moment. That's really how I act that last game.
Yeah, and that's tough. And it's one thing about your program, Dan, I've told you before, I've noticed, is it is more like family. I've been to a lot of schools, talked to a lot of coaches, seen the program. It's very septic, very impersonal, monotone, and call it whatever you want. But your program's a lot different, man. The kids all get along. You have a genuine care for everybody, and they talk about it, and it comes out on the field because, let's face it, it's not like your geographical area is the hotbed where all the athletes are coming out, if you know what I mean.
So we might not be taking on IMG Academy down in Florida or doing a home and home with them, but what we do have is a culture that we built, and it really starts with the entire coaching staff and the players buying into a method that this isn't only about football, it is about a journey and trying to teach them to be higher morals and more character and do those things. We do go by the Bushido code. And when I took over the program, that was the first thing I did. And we wanted to attack character and to go those things. And don't get me wrong, we've been sending a lot of players out to colleges of late. but we wanted to do it in a way that we all supported each other. And Rich, you've been to some of my games, you follow us. When someone else scores, the guys are just as excited. And I would love people to be on our sidelines when the game's going, pretty favorable for us. And you see that we have some of the young guys in there, how locked in that the older guys in that's already got their time, that they're so excited and pumped up for each other. And that's a day in and day out activity for us. And it's something I'm very proud of.
And Dan, you're one of the few coaches I know that actually travels the country in the off season and go and watches his former players play at the collegiate level and some at the pro level already. Wow.
Yes, sir. I as you know, I do that, and I continually keep trying to learn the game. And so each summer I go out to several different colleges to watch some of the things that they teach, some of the different ideas, but also being there for the kids. And it doesn't matter what division. I've been on the NAI, Division 3, 2, Division 1. It doesn't matter. You got to go out and support these young men because they gave so much on the line, and we have a chance to change their entire family. And not just from a football avenue, but these guys are going out to get a degree, and they're going to bring back this degree and this knowledge of life that they can install inside the family, and the entire family can grab hold of that. And that's really what we're trying to change. And I'm very proud of that. So when I get to go see them, yeah, it's about the football, but it's really just to hear how they're growing in life and for them to talk to me about grades. And one of the great things, get that text message about what their GPA is, because they know it still matters. They left the program, but they want to show me that the grades that they're still getting, and they're on track to graduate and those things. So I'm very proud of that.
And that's very important. Let's go over to the city section and talk to Jason Sabolic real quick. Jason, Southern section's done. You guys still got 2 more games to go.
We're the game of the week every week now.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Coach. It's odd times, and it's unfortunate that things are as they are. But you got to make the best of it, and it looks like you guys are maxing it out.
Well, we're going to do what we can to put the best product on the field moving forward, and love every second of being a part of this SoCal prep relationship, this LA 36 relationship, and we get to do it for a long time coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you guys play 2 more games. There's no playoffs for you guys, right? In the city section, there's nothing like that.
Correct. Yeah, no playoffs. Every game it's our bowl game. Next week we'll play our senior night at home. We'll get to honor our seniors and kind of do a little bit of goodbye. This week we don't get any fans, which is great with the telecast. And then we'll bring it home next week. I hope you guys try to notice that I changed the scenery a little bit. I got my friend Joe Boo over here, my right-hand shoulder.
Who's that guy?
It
looks like
find some way to get a win.
Looks like Alfred E. Newman right there, man. He stick his finger in a light socket, doesn't it? That is great. Coach, we'll acknowledge anything you need to do to get a win, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Anything.
That's it. We're going to plug away. We got a lot of kids. We got a lot of great heart. These kids are putting up with such an unreal thing going on right now mentally. As far as the pandemic goes, getting out on the football field is phenomenal for them. It's been a game changer. I think it's taken a lot of these kids out of depression and put them back into normalcy. And that's all we could have hoped for, And at the end of the day, it's not about the results. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about how can we affect these kids for the better of their livelihoods.
Coach, how's this affecting, obviously you're not going to have spring ball this year, right? It's too late.
Well, we're actually 3 months behind our spring ball schedule, and they actually just waived the dead period. I don't know if you guys have heard, but they waived the football dead period for this year. And we're going to give the kids about 10 days off, and we need to get in the weight room. They haven't lifted weights for over a year and a half.
Wow.
And we need to put some strength on these young pups.
Yep, no doubt about it, man. That's the most important thing in the off season is to get your weights in, get your workout in, get those bones bigger, those muscles bigger, because it's a long season. And I don't care how young the kids are, it does wear you out by the time the season's over, especially if you play 14, 15 games like some schools do, So it wears you out.
I learned, going back into that what you were just touching upon, I made it my kind of mission to find how do you create leaders, and you really create leadership in the off season. It's created in the weight room. It's created in the little things that you do off the field. It's created in the academics and the trained eye to discipline and watching film and being a student of the game. And all that kind of good stuff. So I'm really looking forward to my first off season with my program.
Hey, that's great. What is, I know that transition is going to be kind of quick. What are some of the plans for the, besides the weight room, and what are you going to, how's that transition going to go?
How do you accelerate it?
Yeah, how do you get going so fast?
First and foremost, it comes with an entrance meeting. The one thing that I missed out with my student athletes this year was the fact that I never got the chance to meet them in person, face to face, and have that conversation with them and really read between their eyes if football was, their passion, and talk to them about how important academics are. And, we can only do so much virtually. You can only instill so much discipline over Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And it really doesn't come into play when you actually have to get up in the morning and go and work out. So, a lot of team bonding, a lot of time to get to know some of these kids, some of the kids that I still haven't even met in person, because we're still at about a skeleton crew of about 60% of the population of the kids that we're actually coaching. And plus, we don't get to see the JV team because we don't have enough field time. So at the end of the day, I'm more excited to kind of get into these kids' heads a little bit and, start to impress upon them some of the important things moving forward.
Yeah, I know the weight room is a great way to go and talk to some of these kids and talk about academics and getting them up and going, and so that's a really great program.
Stress busting.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Bob, you sleeping there or what, man?
Well, good, man. I'm listening to all this good conversation going on, man. These coaches are.
I figured you wanted.
Wisdom, man. It's good to listen to.
You were talking a lot of trash about Davidson before the show. Why don't you tell him what you were saying to his face now, Bob? Just kidding, Coach. And Coach knows it.
This is good stuff. No, this is good stuff, because when we have two coaches on here that really care about their kids, just really beyond the football field. I think that's what we're seeing so much of during this whole trying time that everybody's gone through. Checking in on kids, making sure everybody's okay. Of course, football's a priority, but academic and everything else. Mental health, that's been a big issue. So we've got coaches here that care about their kids. And that's the kind of thing that lasts a lifetime. Everybody remembers those great coaches they have when they were kids. That really helped them through things. And I think that's the great part about high school sports. And looking at it from the wide view angle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Dan, let me ask you another question about what's going on now. We saw what Coach Sabolic said about how he's going to handle his transitionary into quote unquote lack of spring ball. They've waived the dead period, all that. So where do you go from here? Your season's pretty much done. You're going to take a week or two off and then start back up again? Or are you getting back into the situation on Monday, or are you already back at it?
Well, to be honest, we are back at it. So
I knew it. How dare you?
What we did is we do homework club. So I passed out the calendar. We have 98 days before we come into what's called our season's first practice. And if you count the calendar back, it's 100 days to get to that. So we calendared everything. We do homework club on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's something that we are very proud of the way that we go it. We track the kids' weight and their protein and their hydration. We hand them the workout programs that they have to do, not only for lifting, but conditioning piece. And we have ideas what they want to do, 3-cone drill, 40, vertical, standing broad, and things like that. So we pass all that out. So these first 2 weeks, I'd say that they're off, but we're lifting, we're a homework club, and we're starting to track where they're at. They need their bodies to get back for a couple weeks. And so we're tracking where they're at right now and where they want to get to. So we have books and pamphlets, and it's a tracking device. They come back in, they put them in, and we treat it that way. And basically on the top of the folder it says, who do you want to be in 100 days? Because in 100 days, it takes us to the 24th of July, and that's when our season would start, and that's our motto. So right now we're trying to get all those missing assignments, getting the grade point averages set up. We work on camps. We did clearinghouse on Monday for most of our athletes, and then Tuesday we come down and do all these different camps that we put stuff out, and we register the kids that way. So that's really what we try to do. And then we're again, I don't want to say that we focus everything on football. We're just focusing more about character. And so guys love a coach to talk perfect. The kids love to be in the weight room. So kids like to lift weights.
Teams that bond win. There's no question. Most teams that win championships have bonded very well. And I think all these things you do helps these kids bond. If you're having a homework club, you're having the workouts and they're personalized, so everybody has to show up. I mean, they begin to bond that way. You talk about any. Go ahead.
Rich, you're so right on, because we're doing the protein, and they come in and get the shakes and messing around. They're having a good time. They're tracking the weights.
Yep.
They create their groups on it, and every one of you guys are still involved in sports because it was so impactful for you when you were at this time. I know my best friends are still the guys that I played ball with.
Oh yeah.
And so that.
So are some of my worst.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to convince them, right? We're trying to let them understand the values that are here, and the values come from all those weight room sessions and tracking and fighting and having those guys go with you. And you're a different breed if you play football. Let's face it, it's a different animal that comes in, and not everyone's been meant to play football. And I'm just very proud of how the guys want something and they attack it and they go about it. And it's very important. Today I send out little motivational texts to my guys almost daily. Today's is success is on the other side of what you don't want to do. And so that was today's message.
Nice.
So you may not want to pay the price in the weight room or the grind or the homework or whatever it is, but the only way you get success is on the other side. So that's something that I'm very proud of, and I know you guys know me. That's why I love coming on the show. It's because you guys are giving another avenue for these youth to have something to grab hold of. And that's why I'm on social media. That's why I follow you guys on social media, because it's another thing to keep these guys occupied to do something well and to keep great ththings happening in their lives. And that's why I'm so thankful for you guys and a part of these type of things at all times.
Right. We appreciate you coming on, Dan. We got to know your program quite well, and everything's just great over there. So we really appreciate, the fact that you do follow us, get the word out. We have a great time doing this show. But just right now, you and Coach Sabolic up there right now, just, happen to be the lucky ones that we're still playing and, have a good relationship out there with the media. So kudos to you guys. Anyways, hey, Coach Sabolic, why don't you real quick tell us about your game? When is it? And Larry, can you tell us by the time he's done what time and where they could see the game? Go ahead, Coach.
We play Bucky Brooks and the Granada Hills Highlanders on Friday tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can check it out on LA 36, live streamed, and Larry could give you the better details than I.
Yeah, Larry will be able to give you the dates when it goes over the air. Larry, you want to do that now, or are you going to just let everybody hang?
I can't type up anything.
All right. Well, can you tell me?
You can post it on a graphic.
It'll be 4 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
4 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and that's the replay, right? And of course, it'll be live streamed, so that's always good. And it's very important right now. With nobody could come to the games hardly at all, and so you'll be able to watch it on TV, and that's going to be cool. All right, guys, that's about all the time we have for today. I'm going to let I'll let Coach Sabolic have a parting shot. Coach Davidson after him. Go, Coach.
I'd just like to thank you guys for the opportunity to be on live, whatever you want to call it, social media, so to speak. And I really get to enjoy these Thursday nights. I'm starting to get used to it. So if you guys have an opening down the road, or Randy decides to quit for some reason because he becomes, rich and famous, I'd be happy to join the crew.
Right on, Jason. I love that. Hey, Dan, what about you, man? That's great.
Thanks for everyone to get this season off track. This is so important to these senior kids, and I know we did testing every week and had to go through so many obstacles just to get them to come on campus. And there's so many people that were a part of those things, and you guys keeping these shows going on and keeping it for belief that there is this pandemic is going to end. And thank you guys so much for all that you do. Look forward to next year and getting closer and closer to normalcy for all of us, and look forward to supporting everything you guys are a part of.
Yep, and we're looking forward to exploding with the sports here real quick. So, hey, coaches, thank you so much for joining us. Coach Sabolic of Camino Real, from the city section, Coach Dan Davidson, Western High School of Anaheim, also joining us tonight. And that's it, man. On behalf of my boy here, Dan DeForest, Bob Gibson, I'll just say John Conti because he's here hanging out. And, of course, Larry, our producer. We're saying so long from your friends here at the SoCal Prep Report. We see y'all next week. Sound like a Southerner when I do that, don't I? Hanging out with Booty.
I think you're close enough.
Josh, that is.